Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of December 20th to the 26th of 2021. All right, so this week we're coming off of a full moon. We had a full moon last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and so it's a great week for implementation. Any insights or new perspectives we've gained since the weekend or even coming into this week, I think is great to implement. We are still in the heightened phase of the cycle, and entering into the disseminating phase is all about disseminating and applying and implementing any shifts of perspectives or insights that we usually gain from that illuminating full moon. So this week, the early part around Monday, we do have Mercury trining Uranus, maybe a bit of a visionary mind, future-oriented mind. Maybe some changes to the routine could be a bit exciting. And then the bulk of the aspects will be mid to the later part of the week and around the holidays, for those of you celebrating the holidays this week. But Saturn is squaring Uranus for the last time this year. This has been a yearly energy of Saturn, the planet of structure, has been in a clash with Uranus, the planet of change and freedom and liberation. And so in our personal lives, it's been a great year for building constructive change. And this could be the final culmination of this. So anything since February that's been about building more freedom, more change in our life, more constructive changes, structures that lead to more freedom. It's been a great year to do that. And this could be the completion or finalization of it, or at least it's a great week to still apply that energy, as this will be the final contact between these two planets. Now, Venus is retrograde this week. She went retrograde last week. And so there's a lot of reworking, rethinking regarding our values, perhaps regarding how we're relating with others or our relationships, and perhaps even resource stuff. So still good to allow for that. But on Saturday, that Venus will conjoin Pluto again. So it's very much about our deeper values, re-examining those, deeper context of relationships, what really matters at the end of the day. Maybe even stripping away some old or outworn values or attachments that lead us to feel more free and more liberated and more transformed, which is what Pluto helps us do. But Mars will be trining Chiron over the weekend as well, over that 25th, and so we could be feeling a bit empowered, maybe quite healed, rejuvenated actually, with our confidence and assertiveness. At least available. And Sunday, Mercury will be sextiling Neptune. So just a bit of a receptive mind and a bit of probably a willingness to go with the flow, at least available as well. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, December 20th through Sunday, December 26th. Alrighty, so as you can see here, though, we are using the visible sky, which is very different from mainstream astrology, and a lot of the signs will be different. They're in different placements. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information on true sidereal astrology. All right, so let's do a bit of a recap. We are in the still heightened energy, even the full moon energy coming into this week, and so it is usually a good time for making some shifts and changes to our life path, especially being the eclipse cycle that we're still in. This whole lunar cycle started with a solar eclipse. And so, applying, implementing is a great way of working with this whole week. Maybe starting to challenge ourselves to do that over this coming weekend, this week's weekend. And in that sense, applying and working with that energy from what will be the third quarter square. But coming into the week is a little bit more of the still heightened energy there. And in terms of all these placements, coming into the week, the sun has now officially passed over the galactic center. It's usually quite transformative time of the year. And so now slowly as we get into this week, more and more, there's more of that free-spirited, that post-transformation energy. Now it is still deeper. Mars is still in Scorpio next to the South Node. Venus is still going to pass over Pluto retrograde. So there is that deeper context, and I think it still is a good time for excavating the deeper dimensions of life, whether it's about ourselves, our external environment, life in general, relationships perhaps, all about reconnecting with what really matters and that deeper energy. So Mars is helping us get to that truth, that core motivation there. Can be quite powerful actually for personal empowerment when Mars is in Scorpio, especially when it's non-attached personal power versus being attached to something or wanting to control some things, or operating out of fear or wanting security or safety, right? Fear, but reclaiming that true power, I think, is very much what a lot of these transits are about here. And then Mercury and Venus are in Sagittarius, so it is still good to, again, have that open-mindedness, bit of adventurousness, and perhaps discussing and connecting, with others, theories, hypotheses, abstract energy, more of the right side of the brain, Sagittarius stuff, philosophy, spirituality, perhaps, things like that. So a bit of fire and water, a bit of a mix there in terms of the collective theme about the week. Now, on Monday here, we are going to have the moon in Gemini and Mercury trining Uranus. So Monday is great for anything, I think, mental or communicative. Gemini is a great time to do that when the moon's here. But Mercury will be in a good aspect to Uranus, the planet of innovation, of progressiveness, of future visionary ideas, things that disrupt the status quo. And so our minds are very much visionary with this, and could be quite exciting. So anything that is learning something new or studying or just connecting, communications, or even just our routine, mixing up the routine a little bit in a way that we don't normally do things, is usually quite supportive during this type of aspect here. All right, and then as we get into the Tuesday time, the moon will start to shift into Cancer. And so Tuesday, Wednesday, no major aspects, which is likely going to place more of the theme on the moon's placement. And so in this case, Tuesday, Wednesday, just good for a bit of that protective environment, creating a safe and secure environment for ourselves, remembering to always care and nurture for ourselves, but also externally, connecting with those that are close to us emotionally. We consider our family or our tribe, or just in our everyday relations, having more of that caring, nurturing, and protective energy, I think is great to cultivate and develop when the moon's here. And then once we do get to the Thursday time and we start to get into some of these other aspects of the week, the moon will go into Leo. And so it does make it a great weekend, Thursday through Saturday, for a bit of the fun, the expressive, the playful natures of Leo. So Leo is all about doing what we love, connecting to the things and people that are close to our hearts, and expressing ourselves. So anything like that, creative, fun, playful, entertaining, expressive, all that is great when the moon's here. So it's a nice supportive energy there. Now this is starting to get into that first quarter moon, though. Third quarter moon, where the sun and moon square each other after the full moon. And so over the weekend, though, it is good to really start to buckle down. Maybe it's more of the wanting to challenge ourselves. And the thing is that the third quarter is much easier than the first quarter. We're usually willing to challenge ourselves and take whatever actions or do whatever things we have to do or want to do, to build that full moon energy. And so doing that over the weekend, that challenging of ourselves is great in this phase of the cycle. But certainly the context there being Leo. And what's, quote unquote challenging about it is just that the whole cycle started in the deeper energies. So while we're still incorporating the deeper qualities of life and, connecting to the deeper sides of ourself and of life, how to balance that with fun, playfulness, self-expression, to express ourselves, have fun, be playful in a way that's real, raw, deep, meaningful, right? This kind of a thing is great. All right, so that's the moon there over the weekend, but we do have this Saturn squaring up to Uranus, which is going exact here Thursday and Friday. And this is completing the yearly energy. This has been the major aspect of the year. Saturn, the planet of structure, in clash, squaring up to Uranus, the planet of change and freedom, and doing things more important to us on a true self level. So anything that is about constructive changes, building things this year that you felt is going to lead to more freedom in your life, or is speaking to some excitement, but you've had to be patient with, or work on, or persevere through, right? This could be where we're starting to see the final culminations of this, the completion of it. Now, of course, do give it time. The 1 degree orb is still going into next week, but anything, particularly this week, or even specifically Thursday or Friday, that you feel like could be this action, this completion of building structure, doing things that require patience and persistence, but are towards more freedom, more liberation, more of our life reflecting more of our true self. This is very much what this is about. So final contact. And then as we get into, the very later part of this month and into next year, we're easing up out of this clash, both collectively and personally. For those of you who want to know more about the collective stuff that's been going on this year with that. All right, but very constructive when applied in that way. Structure and freedom, building, changes, Saturn and Uranus, since February, and we had that second contact in June. So anything in that context, to implement this week is great. All right, and then of course Venus is retrograde, this week. So being flexible with values, relationships, and resources, redoing, rethinking, reevaluating, trying new things. We learn a lot during the retrogrades. Retrogrades get a bad rap online, talked about in a very negative way, but they're actually great times of learning. We learn a lot during the retrogrades. We can actually do a lot involving, resources and relationships, but with flexibility, because it's just saying things are up in the air, and we're learning and just expect things to change. So being flexible with our agreements, with our relationships, with our values, and our resources, right? Maybe redoing some of that stuff, rethinking it. But Venus next to Pluto is about personal. Well, it's about what really matters. It's the deeper values, right? And so Pluto, in a sense, is helping us also strip away a lot of the false values that we've had, the things we thought we wanted or valued that weren't true to us, or we were, valuing these things because it was safe, or for fear. And so Pluto shows us this, usually anything there, and exposes all this for us to release it, release the false values, the false fears, and all the false energies that are fears. And in this way we transform, and from this comes new values, right? New values, new relationship energy. So to allow for this process of transformation that Pluto is all about, it's so good to be non-attached to our values, to our relations, to our agreements, to allow for that change. And even the resources, right? The resources, money, investments, whatever it is, resource-wise, because when we're coming from that place of non-attachment, we're not attached to the, we're okay, we've accepted the quote-unquote death of the value, of the relationship, of the agreement, of the resources. Then we start operating more in a freer space, in a space that's much truer to us, and a space that's just more empowered, right? When we have nothing to lose, we're more empowered. When we're claiming our true power. True power comes from within, not these external things that we hold on to or are attached to, or do, because for safety or security or whatever. So allowing for this non-attachment, I think, is a great way of allowing for that death and rebirth that Pluto symbolizes. And Venus retrograde is helping us do that with our values, relations, and resources. Now, also here around the Saturday time period, Friday, Saturday, 24th, 25th, the holidays, those of you, enjoying the holidays there, Mars is going to be trining up to Chiron, so quite supportive, nothing major, but maybe feeling a little bit of a boost to confidence or assertiveness, or at least anything that does require action or confidence or assertiveness on your part, could be very healing. Could be very healing, very rejuvenating, very therapeutic. So anything with that intention, I think is fantastic. All right, and here the last contact of the week is going to be a minor one, and it is involving Mercury sextiling up to Neptune. And Mercury is, again, that planet of our mind and communications, and Neptune is very much about more receptivity. So being receptive with our minds, and maybe allowing for the flow with our minds, and maybe some things with the routine, good to go with the flow with, be a bit receptive with, I think it's just available. It's just available there around Sunday. And the moon will be in Virgo that day, so anything that is about improvement, striving towards improvement, even personal development, refinement, doing a bit of work, is great. And again, that is going to be the third quarter moon of challenging ourselves this phase of the cycle. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. Most importantly here is that we're implementing energy from the full moon, applying things, new insights and perspectives from the previous weekend coming into this week. We do have Venus retrograde, so being flexible and adaptive with our values, with our agreements, with our resources, all in that context of doing what's more deeply important and connecting to our deeper values. And Saturn squaring up to Uranus for the final time. Anything that is about applying changes in our life that we know have taken time, patience, persistence, I think is great as well. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a newsletter where you do get these videos released first and extra content not normally released on YouTube. So do check that out down below. But have a great week, everyone. Have a great holiday season here for those of you celebrating the holidays. And I'll see you all next week for the next astrology forecast. Take care.